We are now starting on step 2 of the flour sack drawstring bag. We're picking right up where we left on step 1. We have serged each of the 4 edges. We are now ready to fold our bag in half. I'm going to fold it up. We're going to line up our serged edges, our 2 long serged edges. We're going to be using the seam gauge. Slide your marker to the 2-inch mark. We are going to measure 2 inches down from the top on both of these sides. Now to put a pin in through our fabric at the 2-inch mark, we're going to stick the pin in so it comes through both layers of fabric and then stick it back. You'll notice we are putting the pin perpendicular to where we're going to be sewing. We are going to do the same thing on the right side or the left side of our bag, sticking our pin in through both layers of fabric and then back up to the top. We are going to be sewing, according to the directions, a 1/2 inch seam allowance down this side of the bag from the pin to the fold on both sides of the bag. It is very helpful if you put a couple of pins just kind of to help hold your fabric together, because that's the function of pins, to act like lots of little fingers holding things together so your fingers can be doing something else. You need to put pins about a hand width apart. I'm going to go ahead and just put 3 extra pins going down my sides there. Okay, now I'm ready to sew from my top pin down to my fold. I'm going to line up my fabric. I want to start sewing right at that top pin, and I'm lining up on my 4/8, which is the same thing as saying 1/2. It's the line just inside that little 5/8. So I'm going to sew just 1 or 2 stitches, and then I'm going to back stitch 1 or 2 stitches. Your only job is to let the machine do the work. Just guide your fabric. You're going to keep it lined up on that 1/2 inch mark all the way down your bag. When you approach the bottom of your bag, you're going to back stitch just 2 or 3 stitches. The needle's going to stop in the up position and trim your threads. Pull your pins out. You'll notice I sewed right over the pins and the world did not end. Some sewing teachers will ask you to never sew over a pin. I'm not one of those sewing teachers. Go ahead and sew over the pin. The worst thing that's going to happen is it might break your needle. Remember to back stitch when you start and stop. I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time, keeping my fabric lined up on that 1/2 inch mark. Just sew as straight as you can. We want to stop when we get to our 2-inch pin, which is this orange one right up here. I'm going to back stitch. Like I said, sewing over the pin, the worst thing that's going to happen is you may break a needle. Move on with life, change the needle. Sometimes the pin might bend, that's okay. Throw the pin away. We have now completed, we want to make sure we're trimming off our threads, but we have now completed step 2. We've got a nice 2-inch gap right here at the top, and we've got our sides sewn down.